Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the TJR Auto channel. My name is Tyler, and in today's video, it's a continuation of working on the good old GTO hood. The fiberglass resin hardener just arrived, so that means I can start laying some more fiberglass down. But before we do this, as we can tell, there's something hiding in this side of the screen. I gotta show you. All right, I can't dedicate a video to it because it's already done. I didn't film it, but I have to show you guys. So I finally hit the jackpot and was able to get rid of this ugly ass work truck spec grill that also had a broken body, the little spacer filler panel thingy. And instead, we got a nice chromey homie. So this obviously came off of a GMC 2500 truck with a nicer, trim package because it's got the chromey. But the filler panel isn't broken anywhere. It actually did have a crack on this corner, which I already plastic welded on the backside. That thing's good to go. And then I also did buy a bumper, which the bumper itself is in much worse shape than mine, the chrome part of it. So I basically kept the chrome bumper on the truck, and I was able to take off the color-matched little plastic valance panel from the new bumper to get rid of my work truck valance panel. So the front end of this thing is finally cleaned up, and I also took off the plow mounts. So this thing is just a rig, dude. Look at this thing. Ah, oh, it's so stout. I am so happy with this truck. I really am. This is definitely one of my better purchases, and I'm very happy that I'm able to daily drive it, and it hasn't broken down too many times yet for me to hate it. So anyways, let's get this thing out of the garage. I'll clean all this mess up. Then we can start laying some glass. Okay, folks, so after about, no joke, probably 2 hours of sanding, maybe even 3. I don't know. I've lost track of time. But this is the point that we've gotten to. All of the edges are essentially cleaned up. Those alone probably took almost an hour. As I've been working on this, obviously more and more, I'm discovering and thinking of ways that I easily could have prevented a lot of these issues. So biggest issue right now is this was me just holding the sander flat on here. These areas that are blown through were way too high, like super, super high. So instead of me just laying that tape on the backside like I had originally done in the first video, realistically what I should have done was take like a piece of cardboard, cut it out, make it fit underneath this, and then wrap that in tape and have that taped up on the back of the scoop so that I had a perfectly flat area basically just to fill in to be, level with this area, the sides, and the back. Easier said than done, obviously. That should have been square one, but that's not the case. I'm not going to break all this out and restart this just because, that idea makes more sense. We're just going to kind of try to work with what we got. So obviously these areas this area is fully through. That one just is, that broke into like an air bubble pocket that, it's an air pocket. So there's still some reinforcement around that. This broke through barely, and then right up here on this edge I broke through. This obviously is the worst spot. You can tell it's still pretty solid even with those areas popped through like that. So what I want to do is pop the scoop off, clean everything up, and then use the singular last piece of fiberglass I have, which is just bigger than this area, our workspace here. Lay that on the back side of this is almost like kind of like a backing sheet, especially for, a spot like this. I would like it to rebond these two pieces, and then also kind of act as a backer for when we eventually go to do the body work on this and I'm laying short strand fiberglass filler over it. It has something to, lay on top of. It's not going to try to goop through this hole. So at least we'll be using up all of the fiberglass that I did buy. I will still have some resin left over, just not the end of the world. But that's the game plan for that. And then this area here, we're super duper low. So with whatever resin I have left over after we do that back piece. I might try to take any of the clean fibers, like clean dry fibers I have sitting around, and try to kind of lay them in here just to act as a little bit more of a filler so that we don't waste a lot of short strand fiberglass filler when we actually body work it. Alrighty, folks. Well, finally, the scoop is glued to the hood. So on that little clip, got this Sikaflex 221, basically like a polyurethane glue adhesive sort of dealio. So I bought that because it was a lot cheaper than like 3M panel bond or anything of that nature. I've heard decent things about this before. Some old time hot rodders and whatnot told me that it does work pretty good for something like this. So hopefully that is the case. But you might have seen I added a bunch more screws all the way around to really get this thing sunk down. And then I came across a handful of these guys, these nice big shouldered Phillips head self-tappers. So I put them in one in each corner at the back. I did one in the center of the side, and then I did one on the front corners. And then I also did one on each side of this middle body line that basically we're going to have to build up because it's not really existent. But I think this thing is coming out pretty good. And I know, yes, is it worth all the time and effort? Probably not. But at least I can say I built it. And I've never done something like this before. So it's always kind of a nice change of pace to do different projects like this and kind of learn as you go rather than do something I've done 10 times already and I've kind of grown to despise. But everything up here actually doesn't look too bad. I ended up using the very last of the resin that I had and a little bit of fiberglass I had left to kind of fill in this little pocket here and lace a couple strips in here to kind of get that up. But the bottom side, I think I showed it in a quick little clip with music playing over it. Scuffed up the edges of that so all the dry edges were, kind of blown off and it looked, normal. Gave it some paint, also painted where the intake filter actually sits through the hood so that it's not rusting any more than it was. But overall, pretty hype with it. So I got to read the little tube and see how long this glue needs to dry for. I'm sure it's probably going to be a ridiculous amount of time, but I'm happy at least I got it done tonight. And then I can kind of just sit here, got the little heater on it, just to try to help keep it at temp. Alrighty, folks, well, there you have it. That is how you do some half-ass fiberglass work and also glue, hopefully glue, fiberglass onto metal. Will it work? I don't know. Time will tell. According to the tube, it becomes tacky within 6 hours and fully cured within 7 days. So we really have some time to see how this is going to hold up. So I don't know. This is kind of sucks that it's that long. I wish it was like a 3-4 day window. Instead, it's a 7-day window of waiting. So I guess this is kind of halted for now, but I believe the next video will probably be body working this. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure to subscribe so that you can see some more content like this, or working on the goat, working on the truck, or even working on the 5-speed marquee. I know I always say it, but please drop a like, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking of this. Let me know how you think it's coming out. But once again, as I always say, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I truly do appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys, hopefully, in the next one.